What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Ready to Love, Make a Move. This is Season 1, Episode 5, and the episode is titled Blast from the Past. So, we start this episode off with Ashley still trying to figure out if she going to keep Kirsten around or if she going to let him go. So, of course, she's dragging it out, and honestly, I wanted her to let him go in that moment because, girl, if you already are feeling some type of way, just let him go and find a new guy. But no, she decided to keep him around. Next, we see Charisse. She talks to Maurice. She says that she's not about to chase a man, and she decides that she's going to move into a different direction. Thank God. Then he has the audacity to say, oh, she's going to be missing him. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. We're going to talk about that a little later. So, we actually see Ashley. She's making a full-out crab boil as well as jambalaya for the ladies, and I feel like she's the only one who cooks in that house, the only one. And the ladies, they talk or whatever. Come to find out, Maurice is over here blowing up Charisse's phone, and it's crazy because you didn't want to talk to her when you were in her face, but now you can talk on the phone. Charisse, leave that man alone. So we also learn that Ashley, she's still talking to Don every day and every night. Now, here's my only thing about that, because the show is all about them making a move and blah, blah, blah. But what happens if the connection that you have with the person that you texting, who ain't on the show anymore, is stronger than who in your face? Like, what's going to happen with that? I digress. So Tamika shows up and she brings in some of the ladies' friends from previous seasons of Ready to Love. We see LJ, he's there for Charisse. Camille is there for Zadia. Liz is there for Vernisha, which I found to be interesting because I don't even think they were on the same season, were they? Nonetheless, Stormy was there for Ashley. Now, we first see Zadia, Camille, and Cameron. They go on the first date, and he's out here tasting Zadia's coffee. I said, oh, y'all real comfortable with each other already. And Camille, she comes through with her little notebook of questions. It seems like this man has no interest in moving to DC. And she would definitely have to move to the South because that is where he is. But at the end of the day, the name of the show is Make a Move, as in the woman will be moving to wherever the man is. So that's kind of a given. Also, he seemed like he got a lot going on, which I said when we first met Cameron. Cameron got 15, 20 jobs. I don't know how he's going to have time for Zadia, but we shall see. Zadia really does like him, and I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. Now, let's move on to Vernisha, Jabari, and Liz. We see that Liz came with the questions that were specific to Vernisha's lifestyle. Okay, like she was like, will you be able to handle Vernisha's lifestyle because she be out here in these streets? Vernisha don't come home till about 2 o'clock in the morning. And according to Jabari, he's like, I've never had to deal with a situation like that because when I'm in bed, usually my partner is in bed as well. He go to bed at what, 10:30, 11 o'clock? Yeah, Vernisha ain't living that life, buddy. So he does say that he's willing to make some changes. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Vernisha at this point, she's having second thoughts about him. And she's just not sure if he can handle her. But also, one thing that I wanted to point out was the fact that when these people are on these dates, I feel like they're not really getting to know each other. Like, Vernisha, what is your lifestyle? Because he's telling you that he can go to bed at 11 o'clock, and you're just saying like, oh, well, my lifestyle's a little bit different. Can you further explain? Can you say, yeah, because on Tuesdays I be hosting over here, and on Thursday I'm doing it. Can we get a play-by-play of what your day look like so maybe he can get a better idea? I'm just saying. But let's go ahead and move on. Now we have Charisse, LJ, and Keith. They go on this date. And Keith is talking about how, he has dedicated his life to raising his kids. And he took his first solo trip maybe a few months prior to this, this show being filmed. So they're like, oh, where you go? And he said to Dallas. The way Charisse looked at that man, I said, well, bye, Keith. You ain't what she looking for. Like, Charisse literally was in the confessional like, oh, he cannot be serious. But if I'm going to be completely honest, that man is 50 years old? Most people at this point from his generation, they were taught that you travel when you retire anyways. So I don't know why she's expecting for him to have been this world traveler. If we really want to have that conversation, like I said, most people from his generation were taught, okay, you raise your kids, you work your job. When you retire, that is when you are able to travel the world. And on top of that, social media is really the reason why most people are traveling today. Because now we're able to see people are traveling to all these places. People want to go to these other places. We realize that certain trips are more affordable than what we thought that they could be. It's a whole thing, but it's definitely because of social media the reason why I feel like people are traveling a lot more than what they previously have, over the years. So also, another thing, this man is a 50-year-old barber, okay? That I'm not trying to discredit him in any type of way, but I can also see that with his lifestyle and what he does for a living, I can see that he's not a world traveler. You know what I'm saying? He's just living a regular life. Like, I'm just saying, the way that she just discredited him in that moment with the way she looked disgusted, I was like, yikes, this is over. So then LJ, he ends up asking him oh, what type of dates will you be taking Sharice on? Because, Sharice, she has her own ideas of what a date should be. This man said, oh, I like to do things simple. Let's go get ice cream. Let's go on a walk. Listen, this man is budget friendly, okay? But I think that he's more so focused on the personal connection that you are able to build with a person instead of you trying to buy fancy gifts and there's not really a connection there. Now, I think that he may not be the person for Sharice because of the way she's responding. So now that makes me wonder, so are you going to go back and start responding to Maurice because he has money? Even though everybody knows that y'all don't even have a connection. You get what I'm saying? I feel like this shows just how polar opposite your connections might be. Because you have someone like Keith who is all about the connection, who wants to really get to know you. You know what I'm saying? Probably actually wants to build something with you. And at the end of the day, Sharice, it may be that he's never had a partner who wanted to travel. And maybe you can bring that out of him. But then you also have someone like Maurice where there is no real connection. Y'all not really talking and communicating like that. But he can give you lavish trips. He can, give you nice things. So which one you want, girl? Be for real with yourself. What do you want? But y'all, that was that. So now let's move on to Ashley, y'all. This right here. Ashley, it's her, Stormy, and what's his name? Kirsten. That's what's going out on this date. So first of all, Stormy, I think she thought that she was going on a date. Because I'm like, why do you have this nice dress on and y'all just going to eat at a little restaurant in the daytime? Ma'am, what's going on here? You couldn't put on jeans and a t-shirt. You are here for moral support. That's it. That is all you are here for. Kirsten, he gets there, right? And Stormy is trying to see, oh, do you have a brother? It's given Stormy is looking for a man. And it got to the point where Ashley was just sitting there like a third wheel. And you know what I'm saying? What's her name? Stormy, she's doing her thing, asking whatever questions. Kirsten is responding. Here's the thing. In that moment, I feel like Stormy was absolutely in the wrong. I can't even blame Kirsten, and here's why. Because he don't know them. Keep in mind, this is only date 2, 3 or something like that they're on at this point. So he's just trying to be nice to this girl because that's supposed to be the girl I'm interested in, friend. Stormy, however, she definitely made this all about her. I'm like, when are you going to ask a question that involves Ashley? None of her questions had to do with Ashley at all. If I was Ashley, I definitely would have got up. Also, the thing that stood out to me was that think about this, y'all. We only see a clip of the date. I want to know how long Ashley was sitting there while these two went back and forth and treated her like a third wheel? That's my question. Now, what threw me off though was the fact that when she got up, neither one of them seemed to react how I thought that they should have. Like, Kirsten did not get up to go see what was going on, why she got up, why she felt away. Like, that was a problem for me. Because at the end of the day, this is who you're supposed to be interested in. Why are you still sitting at the table with her friend? Like, make that make some type of sense. So she ended up going to the producers. She's like, you know what? I feel like Stormy is here for herself. And she was. She absolutely was. Baby, Stormy was trying to see if they have a season 2 of this show, can they put her on? She was trying to show that she's good TV. And you can't tell me nothing otherwise. I did feel bad for Ashley in that moment because we already know that Ashley has had a conversation with this same man that's saying, hey, I want to make sure that you're here for me. I want to know that you are here to date me only. Well, here comes a whole nother problem arising because she had a fear that he was going to be interested in somebody in the house. No, it's that your homegirl came up in here pouring it on thick. A hot mess if I ever seen. But let's go ahead and move on. Now we got to go on new dates, right? Zadia, she goes on a date with this guy named Dylan. He's 31 and he's a teacher. Now he's supposed to be from New Orleans, but he don't have not a one bit of an accent. Dylan is a 4th grade teacher. He teaches English, and come to find out he's actually dyslexic. Zadia, she feels like he ain't the one, okay? She knew he wasn't the one to begin with because she is solely focused on Cameron, right? She also felt like he wasn't the one because he's just now getting settled in New Orleans. He's only been there for, I think, 2 months. Yeah. I can see why she was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Also, the conversations, it just wasn't flowing how it should have been. So after seeing this date, I knew for sure Cameron was still going to be around. Moving on, we see Charisse. She goes on a date with a guy named Mizell. He is 55 years old and a high school dean. Now, y'all know what's something that I really was intrigued by this episode, because I started to think, it's interesting how the guys that Vernisha gets, they all have this like cool cat, smooth talking type vibe. But then when you get the guys that Charisse actually has, she has more like the older gentlemen. They're very settled in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, their guys are like so opposite. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, let's get to this date. So, he's also a high school dean. And they go on this date and they're just dancing. And I will say it was good to see Charisse loosen up a bit. He seemed very down to earth. The only thing is that I feel like they didn't really talk a lot on this date. But if it were me, I feel like maybe she should give this guy another shot, because it's clear that she ain't feeling Keith. But let's go ahead and move on. Now we have a new person for Vernisha, y'all. And out of all the names that he could have had, why is his name Tabari? Like, she already have Jabari. Now we got to go with Tabari. So he is 48 years old. He's a realtor. But he also has some other jobs. He's also a manager at a restaurant. He is also an owner of a radio station. Baby boy is busy out here, okay? Now, I do feel like because he has like an entrepreneur spirit, he has a lot of different businesses going on, he may be a match for Vernisha, because we all know that she's kind of looking for somebody who understands her lifestyle. And this guy seems like he's really busy out here. Now, I'm just a little confused because I'm like, so when are you actually going to have time to date Vernisha? That's my concern. But I guess, like the people say, you make time for what you want to make time for. So, like I said, Vernisha, she's liking this guy. They're having a good time. If I had to choose between this guy and Jabari, Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I may go with this guy for Vernisha. Just because, Jabari, he is very structured. He's very, I go to bed at 11 o'clock. He's been living his certain lifestyle for a while. He would definitely have to get used to the way Vernisha lives her life. And I'm not sure if at this big age, he's willing to really try to get accustomed to what her lifestyle is. But y'all, those are just my thoughts. Let me know who y'all thought she would actually choose. Moving on, we have Ashley. She goes on a date with a guy named Chris. He is 35 years old and he's an insurance agent. Now, Chris, he's a funny guy. He's funny just like Ashley. However, he lets her know that his last relationship was 3 months ago. So his breakup is very fresh. Ashley is not trying to be anybody's rebound chick. And I don't see this going well for him. The only thing that sucks in this situation is Ashley is currently mad at Kirsten because of what went down with her friend Stormy. And then this new guy ain't really, as good as how she felt about Kirsten. So, I don't know. Can she eliminate 2 guys? Speaking of that, back at the house, we see the ladies there talking to Tamika, and the friends are there as well. Now, Camille, of course, she's not exactly feeling Cameron for Zadia because he doesn't really have time for Zadia because he's so busy. And Camille, she also knows that her friend is going to date him anyway. Zadia is headstrong. Zadia is going to do what she wants to do. And regardless if this man is good for her or not, Zadia is going to give this man a shot. Now, my question is Camille still with Cornelius, y'all? Because if they are still together, I cannot lie. That definitely says a lot about this show because everybody was against them, but they're still together if they are. Y'all let me know if they're together. Moving forward, we have Liz. She felt like Jabari was down to earth. She seemed to like him. However, he might not be willing to compromise, to fit into Vernisha's world. And also, he seemed like he was a homebody. So that just wasn't going to work for Vernisha because she's a busybody, okay? Now we move on to LJ. When it comes to Keith, he felt like Keith was a nice guy. However, because he's also more like a homebody, he might not be the person for Charisse because she likes to travel and of course she likes expensive things. And now Tamika, she's like, well, maybe Charisse can be the woman to bring this out of him. Yeah, Cherie ain't trying to bring nothing out of nobody. Cherie wants the man who's already going to spend the money on her. Then we get to Ashley. Oh, where's Stormy, you guys? She ain't here, okay? It is just Ashley there. She's telling them how she felt like Stormy went on a date with Kirsten. And you can tell she is so pissed off. I mean, baby girl has whipped out her fan. She's trying to breathe. She is pissed off at this situation. And that is where the episode left off. Now, y'all, I gotta be honest. This is about the 3rd or 4th episode that we have that we're leaving on a cliffhanger with Ashley. Why do we keep doing that? But I digress. Y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.